fucking times. Like,
No, I'm fine.
I'm fine with it then. I don't care.
Done.
Whoa, sorry.
Good. You're watching the USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. We come to you from the capital of California. The final quarterfinal in the Western Conference. Number 2 seed Sacramento, number 7 seed Orange County. 1 and 2 in the East, Louisville, Charleston already vanquished. Meanwhile, in the West, one upset thus far. Phoenix over El Paso last night. Tulsa and New Mexico chalk into the conference semis. And good evening, everyone. Michelle Montaigne joins us in a moment. Devin Kerr alongside Mike Watts on hand. And Dev, here we go, right? I mean, you get to this point in the season and you've already put 30 games of tape out there, and then you get an upset or two, and all of a sudden Sacramento probably thinking a little harder.
Should be on upset notice. Varying form between the two, which actually favors Orange County, and that's where I want to start. Very impressed by Danny Stone and this Western Conference team by sticking to their principles, which is about ball retention and their ability to be aggressive going forward, even with all of the key injuries at every level of the field throughout most of the season. But within that, they've stayed true to themselves. They've become more aggressive as time has gone on, and over the stretch of these last 7 games, they've really come into their own. Intricate passing patterns, a lot more rotation, and a real belief, Mike, that they can take down everyone. The last 7 games, they've only got 1 loss. They've played 5 teams that enter postseason play in the top 4. 2 injuries and international duty is going to cause some rotation, though, and fluctuation on the back line. Big test tonight.
So we'll find out if Orange County is up for an upset here tonight. Conversely, Sacramento. Dev, this is one of the glory teams in the championship, and all eyes on them. Neil Collins' first year, an up-and-down campaign.
Been right there all season long, been right there the past couple of years. You bring a new coach in, even as tenured and as quality as Neil Collins, there are new ideas. He brings new players along with him. It's a slow start, but then one of the best teams in the entire USL Championship, including making it to the Jaeger Cup final. They were untouchable, but then the loss. Form has dipped a little bit. Mentally and physically, they've really struggled to get the momentum going. The good news is the quality of form on the field has returned. The bad news is they don't have all the confidence in the world. They've struggled for some results down the stretch.
You say good news, bad news. Good news, Rodrigo Lopez starts tonight. Bad news, he's set to retire at season's end. He hope it isn't tonight. Let's go to Michelle with Roro.
Roro, having won a title in your first season with this club, as you get ready to start this playoff run, what would it mean to you to end it with another one?
Yeah, I mean, it would mean the world to me, you know, to top off a career, 22-year career, and especially with the championship, having came to Sacramento, been the first player signed, and won the championship the first year, to finish off that way would be amazing. But, you know, we got to take it day at a time, game at a time. We have a really hard opponent in front of us tonight, and, you know, hopefully we could get a victory and move on to the next round.
How do you balance the emotions going into a game, knowing that it could be your last game ever playing, but also knowing you're trying to lead this team to the next round?
First of all, I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy the moment. You know, whatever happens, happens. That's in God's hands. But, you know, I'm going to go out there and give my 110%, and I know my teammates are as well. But we're going to have fun. You know, we're going to enjoy it. Like I said, it's going to be a tough game. You know, we know what these playoff games are about. We've seen it all weekend. We saw it earlier today, and, oh, man, I'm excited. I'm excited.
We're excited to watch you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Rodrigo. Here we go. Is this it for the captain? Can Orange County spring the upset that would send shockwaves through the Western Conference playoffs? Everyone's on alert. This the last quarterfinal. Sacramento and Orange County. Next on CBS Sports Network. The fireworks have begun in Sacramento. Heart Health Park. Is this game good for your heart health? We're going to find out. 2-seed Republic, 7-seed Orange County. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr, Michelle Montaigne. Take a look at the Republic starting 11. They unrotate after sitting a number of key players against Miami.
3-5-2 for Neil Collins. That'll morph throughout the game. First choice selection within the back three. Keep an eye on the width of this field and how much they're willing to over pivot on the right. At times, that can be the tendency. Need to make sure you have balance on the left with Michelle Benitez. And as Roro Lopez joins the attack, the relationship between Blake Willie and Justin Portillo, just his 7th appearance on the year and 4th start overall for the 6 in the midfield for Sac. The visitors, Orange County, Danny Stone. They'll sit 4-4-2, but there's some interesting movements that have gone on over the last 10 matches. Again, the last 7 have been near perfect. Chris Hagart as he pivots in. Ryan Dogman, so influential, pivoting down on that left-hand side, but they've lost some of that balance due to Gumarayas being away on youth national team duty. As Pinto drops onto this back line, he's got to be aggressive, push back against the left side of Sacramento Republic, and Kevin Partita has to allow Stephen Kelly to burst forward.
Notably, Tom Brewitt returned to training in the past week. He is available for selection. The captain defender for Orange County, And they've got Silla, Dunbar, War, all available off the bench to provide some pop. Rodrigo Lopez, if this is it, what a time. Third stint, 7th year, alongside Christian Pirano, trying to help the Republic back to the heights, their 2014 expansion championship winning season. You wait all year for this moment. Orange County had to get in on the last day. Sacramento in their penultimate game locked up the 2 seed, and they lock horns tonight. The final conference quarterfinal is underway. It is Orange County away to Sacramento. The 2 seed Republic tried to advance into this conference semifinal. Should be a fun one tonight. Winner will see New Mexico next week. It'd be in Albuquerque if it were Orange County. It would be in Sacramento should the Republic win tonight. Devin, you even heard Rodrigo Lopez say it. We saw the Charleston upset earlier today on CBS Sports Network. We saw what happened last night. They're not taking anything for granted.
Well, certainly hasn't down the stretch. That has been a very interesting run of form for Sacramento Republic. The idea is still very prevalent. A little bit light in terms of overall squad selection. They have gotten Russell Cicerone back and Nick Ross on the bench. But this is still a very strong team with the idea that they can once again hoist the USL Championship title, as the red carpet has been rolled out for Roro Lopez.
Win against Charleston on Wednesday sealed the 2 seed. So Rodrigo Lopez became the real valuable commodity of buying a ticket on Saturday against Miami. They didn't need the points, so suddenly it became about giving deserved flowers to the captain. This runs too far. Timmer finding his way back into the lineup. 19th start this year, has missed significant time. And Neil Collins, so much success in Tampa Bay. One thing he did not do was lift the trophy at the end, his side falling to Orange County in the 2021 final. Went overseas for the past 2 years, finds his way now to Sacramento. Good win of the ball, half the field by Jack Gurr. And the foul won by Pirano. Part of the double winning side in San Antonio a couple of years ago, Pirano. Devin, when I think about Neil Collins, if there are teams that are reliant on the spine of their team, his Rowdies teams basically started the same back three and the same goalkeeper every week for like 3 years. In the perfect world, Sacramento would do the same. Ball into Herrera. Skews into the air, and this header runs wide of Shuttler.
Some of the form that I mentioned down the stretch, and the reason why they've struggled has been on the defensive side because of rotation. There's been some knocks early on in the season. Jared Timmer had to make his way back from a late season injury. The rotation due to the congestion of games, and so inconsistently they've been giving up goals, and that's just not their demeanor overall. The pure identity set, to your point, Mike, of what is a very stable goalkeeping core and back three. But the identity is still there. The belief that they are one of the best defensive teams in the league, no question whatsoever. Neil Collins said it himself. The numbers speak for themselves.
Portillo intervenes, missed 2.5 months of this campaign. Split time between Tulsa and Sacramento last year, starting 32 times. Only his 4th start of 2025 in the USL. Ball knocked down, lashed at target. This runs wide off the foot of Bryce Jamison. Jamison sold to the Colorado Rapids and returned on loan for the remainder of the season. Freddie Kleeman, the get a leg in somehow. Zubak, Latinovic, you've got some guys that can really get up for Orange County. The corner. Way by Desmond. Dogman. Latinovic. Haggard. Knocked down by Blake Willie. The 18-year-old who's had such a phenomenal breakout season after appearing just 9 times in 67 minutes last year. Nearly 1,600 minutes in the regular season.
Certainly the aggression we talked about for Orange County in the open mic, not an issue whatsoever. Opening couple of minutes here, Chris Haggard, really the spearhead of what has been a near perfect attack for Orange County down the stretch. Ton of ideas, always forward facing, always throw his numbers forward, doing the same to start this game.
7 clean sheets in the last 10 games of the interim stint for Danny Stone last year. They finished 5 wins, a loss and 3 draws, made the postseason, fell out to the eventual champion Colorado Springs. They entered this playoff run, entering on the very last day. The win over Indy 11, knocked them out in the East. 5 games unbeaten. As shown over the last 7, just 1 loss, 5 games against top 4 teams. Into the box, dealt with by Lopez. Herrera Submarines, referee sees nothing. Well, he saw something, but Emil Ben-Salah doesn't think there's anything to it.
Certainly the physical side coming into the picture early on. Look at the work rate by Chris Haggard early on in this game. Either side of the field, those are those movements that I referenced, how much freedom they give him because of how sound they've become defensively. And the body of work for Orange County down the stretch, Murderers Row. San Antonio, New Mexico, Louisville. It has been very difficult at the end of this season for them to not only retain the ability to get in the playoffs, but actually push themselves into it.
Into the box, a looping header, goes up and above.
Battle tested, something that would come up, right? It's one thing to get results in general. It's a whole nother when you're doing it home and away and against some of the best the league has to offer. Confidence at an all-time high for Danny Stone and the visitors.
Traeger's return helping to buoy that confidence of late. Couple goals, couple assists, held to just 19 games this year. Out of the regular season's 30. Ball down the line. Benitez kept it in. And wins a corner.
This is that matchup I talked about coming in, though. The questions because of the injury and national team duty. Gumaraya is unavailable. Malik Pinto and Michel Benitez. The speed's going to favor Benitez. The IQ, Pinto. So he has to be smart when he does start to step high. If he gets caught out, that's an angles game for him. Recognizing quickly he's got to shut the angle down to prohibit Benitez getting down into the channel. Put a body on the player instead of trying to play an open transition.
Lopez will take the set pieces for Sacramento. Rigo Lopez, that caroms into the air. Speared backward by Timmer. Jamison unable to corral it. Out to Gurr. Hit that toward the short post. And swallowed up by Shuttler. Jack Gurr, one of the most exciting wingbacks in the championship. If you find an off switch on him, let opponents know they haven't found it yet.
The only thing to keep Jack Gurr off the field is overall health, which is something they've had to deal with this year. His vision. the relentless motor, something that has always been an asset for Sacramento Republic.
Good interchange. Benitez. Controlled by Shuttler. Well, advantage Sacramento in that matchup thus far.
And maintaining balance, certainly going to be one with Jack Kerr on the right side. Want to keep confidence in him, and even though you've isolated what looks like to be an advantage, you also want your strikers, that front line with Herrera and Pirano, to make sure that they're not both pushing that way. That's what we've seen the last 2 trips, is their minds are chasing that side of the field. So even when service is available, they don't have the ability to complete a link-up play up high.
Done by Timmer.
Oof.
Referee's got an early decision to make. Portillo is going to see yellow.
It has to be yellow. This is a dangerous challenge by Portillo. Be very clear. Seen other referees give red on moments like this. It's in from behind. Studs up. Watch the backside of Chris Haggard as the ball gets away on the poor touch from Portillo. Oh boy. I mean, that sweeping leg that comes back through, understanding that his leg gets caught up underneath it. He's trying to bring his foot forward to release onto the ball. Very fortunate that red's not issued here. Reckless on Chris Haggard.
And for fans unfamiliar with the championship, welcome. We're happy to have you. Moreover, no VAR to have another look.
With the understanding on the backside, Portillo's not a bad player in that sense. He's not negative. He's not going to chase you down, throw emotion or physicality your way. He's a finesse player, which is why the frustration boils over for him on the poor touch early on in the match.
And even last year, he got acquired from New Mexico, and the former coach here finished the year at Birmingham. This year, Mark Briggs said there was a total different vibe in our training than what he went through in New Mexico, and it took a little while for him to get going last year. To your point about perhaps a bit more finesse in his game. Had to figure out sort of the Sacramento approach. Attempt to flick it on by Zubac. Vitiello. Damian Lawson, Louisville won the Golden Gloves, but I don't think there's any question who you think is the best goalkeeper in the league.
Should be goalkeeper of the year. Numbers do him justice. Both goals against and shutouts on the year, right there near the top. And especially, Mike, as we mentioned earlier, all of those rotating pieces in front of him. And tactically, there's been some changes over the course of the year, 3, 4, 5. Whatever it looks like, all of the rotating faces. That's hard for a goalkeeper to maintain momentum. Danny Vitiello has continued to do so every single season. The bearded one.
He's given Bradley Johnson a ton of credit, the goalkeeping coach. Had a manager who said he makes the "oh Jesus" saves. So explosive. Second fewest goals conceded in the league, Sacramento. The only Louisville who got ousted shockingly by Detroit last night in the East. Scooped up by the gentle giant, Freddie Kleeman. Well, not so gentle if you're on the receiving end of a tackle, but guy who initially was with Neil Collins in Tampa. Grr. Some kind of hold-up play. Pirano streaking in behind it. Runs to Latinovich. How big a surprise were the upsets that we saw in the East? Louisville and Charleston going down to Detroit and Rhode Island, respectively.
the Detroit is a massive one. That is, in my eyes, the biggest upset in the history of USL Championship playoffs. Points per game, Lou City just set the single season record. We've seen upsets before, but never a team that was that dominant throughout the regular season against the squad in Detroit City that, let's be very clear, just struggled for identity all year long. It's quite poetic in nature, by the way, that they revert back to a set piece and a rough and tumble type performance to get them in. That's where the guts and glory came from to get them successful in this league anyway, right?
Well, and if Orange County had lost to Indy 11, Detroit would have been at home. Indy would have gotten in as the 8th seed. And then Louisville and Indy would have been playing in a rivalry match instead, and who knows how that goes. We'll spin here. Benitez offers the service. Perano came rushing forward. And this ushered back. And then you had Charleston, Rhode Island earlier today here on CBS Sports Network.
There were 3 games in terms of upsets, and I did not name the Lou City Detroit City game as one of them, that I had the opportunity to talk to Jason Davis and Eric Winaldo about on SiriusXM FC. The third one that I brought up was the Rhode Island Charleston game because of the physicality of it all. Now, that certainly presented itself, but I was actually quite taken at how well Rhode Island was able to evolve throughout the match. Started strong, it was physical, it was pressing, but because of the lack of depth in the midfield due to injury for the Charleston Battery, Cano Smith, the head coach of Rhode Island, made incredible changes. They were more aggressive, attack-minded, and while it did go to penalties throughout the 120 minutes, they were the best team overall.
Rhode Island, Eastern Conference champions in the postseason last year, knock out the Battery. We're in the final 2 years ago. Show off your team pride in style. Official merch from shopusl.com. Check out brand new tees, hoodies, novelty items, and more. Your favorite USL team at shopusl.com by scanning the QR code now. Let's see, in that group, Phoenix goes through, San Antonio goes out. Someone check on Richmond? They always live in our hearts.
Always wanted to call a game there with you. Storied venue.
City Stadium.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The bowl.
Yeah. Will have to be next year. Or who knows? Maybe promotion is in their future. Not this year.
They let that young Academy player, Nick Simmons, go off to college. Probably going to be the ACC Freshman of the Year. His father, dominant in USL for a better portion of a decade. Striker as well.
We got a chance to see him in Open Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on this right-hand side for Sacramento Republic. With the way that the front line's pivoting, Roro Lopez off that left-sided pocket. Perano coming up. He's just pinching in tight next to Herrera, trying to create that 1-2 punch. The right side has a ton of space. Play through Jared Timmer. Best ball-carrying center back you have at the right center back position. Ball at his feet, work through the midfield, but also his ability to carry off that back line, releasing Jack Gurr. Haven't really attacked it just yet.
Jamison gets it into the back line. Dogman. Whoa. Yeah, gonna bring that back. Lopez was trying to join into it and was soundly stopped in his advance.
The identity for the Orange County midfield, Stephen Kelly, Kevin Pardita. With the aggression also comes a lot of ground coverage, and Partita just a little bit slow trying to rotate over on the weak side shoulder for Stephen Kelly, who is a tad out of position due to the quality play by Sacramento Republic. Roro Lopez wanted a yellow. Can't necessarily blame him. Clean decision making though.
Desmond, Timmer, Herrera, key options for Sacramento on a set piece. See Timmer and Kleeman on this near side are going to make slashing runs. Seeing just how loud you can make these bleachers in Sacramento. Look to change the point, and now hit the service forward. Header lobbed atop the 6, and stabbed out Partita. Corner, yeah.
This corner kick brought to you by Atlas Disposal.
Raise the decibel level a little bit. Let me tell you, I know what would really raise the decibel level. Benitez, plenty of danger in front. And a potential head injury. They're going to stop play back in front of the goal.
Well, he comes down real hard here, Latenovic. A party crashing in on that near post. Really lucky that he doesn't come down on his head. Now, still going to send a singer. Watch how flat he comes on his hips right here. Oh. Oh my.
Traeger.
Thought it was Latenovic actually from a distance. You're right. Tristan Traeger on the drop back over either way. Get the air knocked out of you. Friendly reminder that you are in fact human.
It's plenty loud in the venue, and that's where we find Michelle Montaigne on the sideline. Michelle?
Yeah, Mike, you said how loud can they make these stands? Pretty loud. They stomp their feet on these metal bleachers during set pieces. You know, Coach Collins told us that he had never played or coached here prior to his first game this season. And straight away, in that first game against New Mexico United, he said he couldn't wait for this moment, a playoff game at home, because of the electric environment, the marquee behind the goal, the stomping of the feet. The fans understand the game here. This is made for playoffs. Mike, all I got to say is we got to get you out here, because I know you haven't been either, and it is an electric environment to say the least.
No doubt. Thank you, Michelle, and keep your friends close and your earplugs closer. Only one loss at home this year, and of course, if Sacramento gets through, who would they see next? None other than the very New Mexico United side that they had so much fun in Neil Collins' debut home game for the Republic.
You just want to get on the water side, on the far side of the field.
You bet, you bet. Absolutely. Right off the state fairgrounds here. Gurr. Leaning header away. Jamison. Good as Zubac been the middle portion of the season. It's faded a bit of late. Ball back from Willie. Able to work off Lopez. Space to run into for Blake Willie. Lopez joins. Cross field. This is nice from Sacramento. Gurr. The service a letdown. Nobody home. Jamison. A foot race that Desmond will win with ease. This venue known for capacity of 11,569. They hit that number sellout after sellout, year after year. This has become one of the gems in the championship, and it's perhaps got not a lot of time left with the planned stadium at the rail yards. I'm sure the spirit of this will transfer over nicely. Willie, no whistle on Pirano's challenge. Roro Lopez is turned away. Portillo. Numbers arriving. Tapped ahead, Pirano. Timmer. Foul one. It appeared in the buildup. Instead, it's a handball on Zubak. Zubak's not arguing that nearly as much as I would have expected.
Well, certainly it is a handball. My argument here would be coming up over the back of Zubak and right into him, Freddie Kleeman. I mean, the argument is you're supposed to go directly up in order to not create an infraction, but the momentum of Freddie Kleeman drifts right into the hold-up play of Ethan Zubak, causing the handball.
Similar placement, but already a different look. Still have 5 and 6. Timmer and Kleeman over there. Now they'll play it off the right side. Lopez. Shuttler. Oh, great distribution. Traeger. Traeger slicing across. Vitiello had it red.
Clean decisions coming forward, a ton of speed at their disposal. What you would like here is the reaction a bit sooner from Ethan Zubak. You mentioned the quality of form that was undeniable mid to 3/4 of the way through the season. One of the issues you run into with Ethan Zubak is his work rate off the ball is so good. At times, he gets out of that pivot point up top in the 9. You need him to stay as the #1 focal piece. Pressure on the back line and entries into the top of the 18, something they've struggled with over the last 5 matches.
Gurr. Championship final comes on November 22nd. High noon in the East, no matter where it's played, on CBS. What we thought would be a path to Louisville became a path to Charleston, became a path to Tulsa. They knocked out the reigning champ Colorado Springs. Sacramento all of a sudden becomes second in line to host the final. Life comes at you fast. Winner of this will get the 3 seed New Mexico. Orange County would go to the lab. Sacramento would host at Heart Health Park here in Sacramento next weekend.
Pretty crazy with the dominance of the Eastern Conference, Louisville City, Charleston, Battery, to your point, how now it's all through the West.
Yep.
Tulsa, Sac, New Mexico, all with priority hosting right now based upon total points in regular season. The first Eastern Conference team up, John Bradford, North Carolina FC. What a result, by the way. Their opening round game against Loudoun. Just saw that. They go back to back and carry hopeful the possibility of what may be a chance to host in the final. A lot of work between now and then, though.
No doubt. Lopez.
Hitting.
Slithers. Never had the chance. Timmer. Gurr. Clearance out toward halfway, runs by Kleeman. And down to Desmond. Captain the side in Rodrigo Lopez absence last year. Coming off an ACL tear in the Open Cup last May. Able to get back, that's only one of about 100 reasons why his retirement hits the way it does in Sacramento and within the league. Herrera, square, Lopez. Got caught between his feet. Willie! Willie! Won't he?
Love how Jacker requests the drop in here by Pirano. The front line, he needs support because he can't play down into the channel. So now you're looking for combination play. This is my favorite thing about Pirano. that initial move, as he comes in, 3 separate players from Orange County draw with him. Creates these tiny windows, but that's where Sacramento Republic are at their best. Clean touches the top of the 18. You don't get the look you want at the tail end of it from Blake Willie. Young got to stay up over the top. One of the better builds we've seen from the home squad tonight.
Collision sees Stephen Kelly down. His teammates come to check on him, and they're calling for the athletic training staff to come have a look. And all of a sudden, Orange County has to at least begin to look down their bench. We showed the injuries to players that are available. That doesn't even begin to touch the players who aren't.
This is one right into his own teammate. It's not on Blake Willie. Oh. Well, hip pointer right through. Right now struggling with the rotation and the pace that's necessary on the defensive front for Orange County, Mike. That pocket of space right underneath Ethan Zubak and Tristan Traeger. Keep mentioning how Zubak, you want him at the end of the day to be the high point guy. Well, someone still has to rotate in because of simple numbers game. 3v2 right now in the midfield, favoring Sacramento Republic. So clean decision in, then play out. I actually think Sac's been at a fault that they've been a little bit slow off the back line, but it's still not allowing Orange County to set. That's also where Hagar can jump the route a little bit, Stephen Kelly come in. The difficulty within all of that is if you don't get the timing right, you've hung yourself to dry out on the width. And that's the motions that they're going through right now. It's just about communication and recognition in the moment.
Kelly, that is more than a flesh wound. If he manages to stay in this game, it'd be a bit of a surprise. Large gash above his eyebrow. And blood that's streaking through his hair.
We saw something similar from Aaron Malloy in the Charleston Battery early on in their game against Rhode Island, Eastern Conference today. Really liked what we've gotten out of Stephen Kelly. Yeah, there's still more there. Head coach Danny Stone said that his capability 40 yards and in, because of the control he has, the vision, recognizing those windows where they can slice right through the opposition, it's been good. But he feels like there's greatness in the future for this team. The question for Danny Stone is going to be, can he pull that rabbit out of the hat in the next couple of matches?
Scotsman came up through Rangers Academy, moves on to Livingston to help them earn promotion. Signed in June. Featured within the Scottish Youth national team previous. Unfortunately for him, the guy had a resounding 0 red cards in his entire life. Shows up in the championship and bags a pair in 16 games.
What a ball that is.
Cleared off the 6.
You got to introduce yourself to the American public somehow.
Red cards or red coming out of your eyebrow?
It's a man after my heart.
Yeah, I know it is.
Can't always be number 1 with me, Mike.
I'm always happy to be your number 2. I just want to be on the podium, Dev. My man.
So does he.
Yeah. Assume they gave the proper medical attention in saying that, but Kelly comes back on and sporting some fresh headgear. Bandage up, keep going. Morano galloping ahead. Partida tried to stem it off outside Lopez. Overtaken by Malik Pinto. Whose sister saw her decision day dreams dashed earlier tonight, unfortunately, with North Carolina Courage. Won on the final day, but Louisville into the postseason for the first time in the NWSL. Night after Louisville City was bounced in the first round for the first time. Morano. Ooh. Bring it back, free kick. Kleeman, Desmond.
Good pressure in Orange County. This is where you can really force Sacramento Republic into some troublesome decisions. Notice how tight they squeezed him, Mike. That's the rotation you want if you're Danny Stone.
Pirano trying to wiggle through. Taken away at the final moment by Latinovic. Portillo just left 3 Sacramento players, Orange County players in the dust. Wow. Benitez. Deflected by Pinto, who stepped in admirably at outside back. And that'll be a throw to Orange County. Head across the Atlantic for some world-class pitch play as Tottenham and Copenhagen go head-to-head in the UEFA Champions League. Catch all the action Tuesday, 3 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus. You have a favorite in Champions League this year? Am I going to throw you into the volcano?
It hasn't been the best for Liverpool, so let's just get that out of the way right now.
I know that.
I'd go with Liverpool.
Okay. Well, at least they'll never walk alone.
Yeah. Theories are made to be broken.
I'm much more of a conference league guy, you know?
How could you not be?
Yeah.
Really looking forward to the offseason and the prospect of watching more of my favorite teams and my wife telling me no.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
By Timmer. Maybe opens the door here to Sacramento. There's nobody there. That's not trick or treat, that's ding dong ditch. Those jokes lost their shelf life?
No, never.
All right.
They're right there next to Twinkies.
Yeah. Toronto. Well, if you're lucky, Devin will take you all the way to penalties twice today. We shall see. Service long here. That is a throw, not a corner for Jamison. Charleston ousted in penalties by Rhode Island earlier today here on CBS Sports Network. Jamison, clever. Traeger. Turn to sender. Ricochets away from Kelly, who's much easier to identify now. Slip ball. Dangerous position. Couldn't handle it. Willie. The crowd acting as fuel as he powers forward. Pirano has Gurr on the overlap. Turns it down. Willie! Kelly closed it down. Benitez tries to escape by Pinto. Lopez. Craft service off the head of Gurr. Kept off Pirano. And Freddie Kleeman made it easy for the referee. I had a chance to talk to Nabil earlier this year on USL All Access, trying to remind people that referees are not robots. I enjoyed our chat with him.
Again, another theory need to be broken.
Well,
it was a great chat, very insightful. Different levels in the organization that is pro. Nabil Ben Salah certainly worked his way through the ranks. Love the journey overall, right? You start within your state, work into the region, college, professional. Actually had an opportunity to showcase his talents as a MLS official earlier this year with Proper Pro. They're people too, you know.
MLS referees? I don't know about that.
No, referees in general.
Okay, that I agree with.
Contrary to the findings I keep presenting to the powers that be.
It's a job that 11,500 tonight think they can do, and only one is actually qualified. Ball over from Nico Benalcazar, and Pinto in reverse. Benalcazar has had a tremendous season. In him, they feel like they've got a ball-playing center back a la Dylan Powers in some of the better Orange County teams in recent years. Positive step off the back line. Sacramento here again. Republic only 2 losses at home, but only 6 wins, 7 draws. Dogman. Another one. Here's Kelly.
Corner. Oh.
Not so fast.
Triggered it very well for himself to get enough pressure. The touch. Sir.
I'm just telling you the fact of the matter, not what was right.
Certainly a touch by Lee Desmond there.
I feel like Desmond should go over and do that sportsmanship commercial from 10 years ago. Mr. Official, I touched the ball. Trying to win a playoff game, pass it on. 2 minutes and stoppage time remains here in the first half. They're going to bring this back rather than allow play to continue. Intriguingly, they give the foul, but it's an Orange County player who's down. But a potential head injury will trump just about anything.
Came right up over the back of Sebastian Herrera. The contact from Malik Pinto. Outside of that 15-minute window, got a couple of balls in behind, steadied his performance overall against Michel Benitez, kept the game in front of him. More disciplined, better, approaching the dressing room.
Danny Stone looks on. He assisted Phoenix en route to the title 2 years ago. Became their head coach. Lasted about half a season. Less than a month later was the assistant coach at Orange County. After Morten Carlson departed for a job overseas, Paul Hardiman is fired. And then an 11-game tryout basically is the interim for Danny Stone. Got them into the postseason, held on to the job this year. Has one of the most interesting dichotomies of expectations of any coach in the championship. They talk about the next wave in Orange County, young talent galore, but they also expect to be in the postseason and have a chance to win titles. So how do you do both? Ball lobbed ahead and way out of the reach of Shuttler. You look at a team like Sacramento. They've put some players out of their academy right now. You're talking about guys like Chibi Akebu, who's available off the bench, young defender. You look at what Blake Willie has accomplished at the age of 18 as we commence 4 minutes of added time. That's two guys that have played 2,400 minutes this year. Half of Orange County's bench tonight are 21 and younger. And a couple of these guys had their first drink in the last 12 to 24 months. Working off the left again, slotted across, bounds high. We're going to find that in Oakland. Portillo could see his former team in the next round. He was with New Mexico a couple years back. Back, prods it down. Partito lays it forward. Traeger, Jameson, Pinto comes back to Partita. Haggard offering Vidiello high points with Zubak rushing behind him. In at the end line through Herrera. Pirano. Delayed getting that back to Gurr. 80 seconds. Portillo, Gurr hops this up. Shuttler goes winding for it. Didn't get much on it either. Timmer. Willie. Kleeman tried to offer a glancing blow. Orange County would like to get into the locker room as quickly as they can at this juncture. More helter-skelter than the rest of the half has been. Kelly away. They split it in the regular season. The coaches really said there wasn't a proxy between those games. We enter halftime here scoreless. What do you make of it?
It was even more difficult given the fact that Orange County bested Sacramento Republic in the Jaeger Cup final. So the ideas aren't as aplenty. Republic controlled the first half, struggled with some decision-making overall. This is about space for Orange County to get back into it on both sides of the ball, to be fair, and exactly how aggressive they want to be.
DJ Joseph Moore out in the market. There he is.
Sacramento on level terms. Head coach Neil Collins with Michelle.
All right, Neil, what was your biggest takeaway from that first half?
I think very similar to a lot of the playoff games that we've had the privilege to watch. It's tight. There's not a lot in the game. I think if we can just get a little bit more quality in the final thirds, I think we could potentially finish a couple of attacks a little bit better, but it's exactly what we expect a playoff game to be.
What are you going to be telling them in the locker room to try to be more clinical in that final third?
Yeah, I think a little bit of composure, a little bit of quality, and not feeling that little bit of anxiety that potentially the playoffs maybe brings. There's no reason that it should, but it possibly does. But we're doing a lot of good things against the ball. We know the threats that they pose. We've handled them pretty well. Can we increase our quality by 10-15% and go on and win this game?
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Neil Collins said every team has boisterous sections, but they got the numbers, and we'll see if his voice can last for 45 minutes or longer. It's scoreless here at the half between Sacramento and Orange County. A look around a wild weekend of upsets coming. The USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. Championship playoffs on CBS Sports Network. They bring the kids down to run on the field. Soccer's for everybody. Your eyes are at the top of the screen. They shouldn't be. It's Rooney. Rooney from the finish line. She's a speed demon. Congratulations, race well won. Here's what happened yesterday. 8 seed, 1 seed, Detroit.
Already on the back end of it, on the back post. Mismatch in numbers 4v3. They don't catch the rotation. Love the little flick onto the near side, and Devin Amu-Mensah. Down goes Lou City. Just one shot on target the entire game. Good enough for the 8 seed to move on.
And earlier today, you had the call. Charleston ousted by Rhode Island. They got that magic.
Great start by Rhode Island. Charleston Battery worked their way back into this match. They both went down to 10 after a rough and tumble. Moved into 120 minutes. And of course, it's the center back, Amema Bika, with the upset for Rhode Island. And the Eastern Conference dominance for them in postseason continues on.
Devin, who the heck is the favorite in the East now? We've spent months saying it was 1 or 2.
You've blown the entire bracket up. There isn't a favorite. That's where you're at right now.
Meanwhile, in the West, only one upset thus far. Could very well change tonight. Phoenix and Tulsa.
Certainly Tulsa, though, has proven over and over and over again. The one-goal games, the tenacity, that's part of their identity. I really like the way New Mexico United is playing. Kept asking for them to be more aggressive going forward. Last 4 matches, near perfect in that conversation.
They done did it, and they will face the winner of this game, New Mexico United. Still don't know who that is. Sacramento, Orange County, scoreless at the half. The USL Championship playoffs continue in Sacramento. It is scoreless between Sac Republic and Orange County at halftime. Come back into the booth, everybody. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr, and you and I have been around this league for a long time, and there's a palpable excitement, and for good reason. All the talk about promotion, relegation coming to the fore, the plan for a first division league, and more news about that pathway coming this week.
New York Times article reporting that Tony Scholes is going to be announced as the new leader of the proposed Division I entity of USL. understand that, Mike, this is, Rome not being built in a day, laying the proper foundation. Paul McDonough as the president back in 2023. Then there's the idea of ProRel. You're making the appropriate steps. Throughout all of this, you're giving yourself depth, you're giving yourself leadership to coincide with the vision. Most importantly, it's about sustainability, giving yourself the opportunity to carry success long-term, not just dumping deep into the pool early.
Yep, and well, how much more would this game mean if it decided if you were going up or staying down? That's something we can find out in a couple of years' time. Rodrigo Lopez thinking, is this the end? 7 years, 3 stints in Sacramento. For him, win or go home for good. The second half is next. Tonight's travel map is brought to you by Best Western. Where is Roro?
He's very busy in the first half. As always, it's going to be on that left side pocket. Interesting numbers that have come out of it. He took risks, 19 completed passes in the first half. Only 3, though, that were positive in nature to that front line of Sebastian Herrera and Christian Perano. They need more movement between the front two and better balance on the width to create options inside the 18.
So Rodrigo Lopez not done yet, continues on. There was one change at halftime for Sacramento. Ryan Spalding will come on and replace the already cautioned Justin Portillo. I think we understood why you would use Portillo in this game, but not a guy who'd seen a lot of minutes over the course of this season. In Spalding, you get a guy who, again, only 19 games, but did spend time with Neil Collins in Tampa Bay. And now the 27-year-old will step in to a playoff game here tonight at the half. Do the pictures help? You're on like page 93 of the Bible there.
Most certainly an idea of what you're going to be looking at will always be presented. Game speed, emotion, and the ambiance, that adds more than one wrinkle, to say the least.
Take a look at the halftime shots. Nothing on target between the two teams. Sacramento more final third and box entries to this point. But it's all worth a warm pitch or a spit if you don't put it into the net. And such the case tonight. Sacramento locked up the 2 seed. Little did they know that the final, should they get out of the West, would be here. So much has happened in these playoffs. But a constant reminder that for Rodrigo Lopez in Sacramento, nothing is promised. Final word between the captain and the referee ahead of the second half. Are we 45 minutes from finding out who wins, who goes home? These two Californian teams match up yet again with so much on the line. Sacramento and Orange County into the second half.
He's replaced by number 3, Ryan Spalding.
Devin, you heard from Neil Collins coming in. Is it as simple as being more clinical once they do get to the final third?
Clinical is not necessarily the words I would use. I would take away the quality conversation that he mentioned. You can combine those, yes. Decision-making overall has to be better because there were options there. They just didn't choose the right one. Came back to the inside when the width was open and vice versa.
Herrera leading. This will deflect wide of Colin Shuttler, lead to an early set piece for Sacramento. Public good for a goal and a half a game over the course of this season, 44 in 30 games. Reached the Jägermeister Cup final in the first expanded edition of that competition, and always a threat in the Open Cup. Service swinging inward, bounces out for a corner. Tinovich among the players massed together. Take it short. Interchanging. Gurr. Jack Gurr! Well, had the whole stadium growling. He knows what he had.
When he does tickle the nylon, Jack Gurr, it is usually in spectacular fashion. What a move he makes on this ball. So difficult. When you take that touch and it skips up off the deck, you're always going to be trying to undercut it and keep it down. The rotation of the ball coming up nearly catches it as clean as you can.
3 goals in the regular season for Jack Gurr. What do you think the conversation was for Orange County at the half? It was funny talking to Danny Stone. They have 2 wins on the road all year in the regular season. He goes, honestly, we're okay with this fact that we're going to Sacramento because there's going to be a certain ambiance to it that we want to be up for that challenge. Is this cleared by OC?
Well, they're going to have the belief that they can get the job done as they have once earlier this year. Eventually, you're going to get over that hump. Why not now? In terms of going on the road, right? I still maintain that the idea of what they need to do is all about space here. You know, they've had some changes that they've had to adjust to. Injuries on the back line. Ben Alcazar out of the midfield. He's stabilized the center back position. Guimaraes, national team duty. Malik Pinto recently at the right back spot. He did well for himself. The adjustments, though, are now about space and playing off of each other. They lack centrally. A lot put on the front, too. Still like to see more out of Bryce Jamison being aggressive up high on the right. And Chris Hagard, who is more than happy to throw this team on his back and run right down through the spine of Sacramento Republic.
Guimaraes, part of the U.S. Under-17 World Cup squad, and set to play here this weekend. If they get to a final, maybe we see him again. Otherwise, his campaign is done with Orange County. This blasted from range, didn't go. Nodded out into space. By Benalcazar. Kleeman erases. Benitez behind Timmer. Let's go to Michelle, who caught up with Danny Stone at the half.
What they talked about during their locker room chat. Well, he told me the first thing he did was take a deep breath and said, we have to stay resolute. It's a playoff game on the road. It's going to be intense. We have to retain our composure and not get caught up in the atmosphere here. And the second thing I found really interesting, he said we have to trust ourselves in our attacking moments. We have to play our game, not fall into what they're trying to allow. Mike.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. 5 minutes into the second half here. And their composure being tested by Sacramento into the final third again. Service up, Lopez tried to get a piece. Turning Herrera, he's on the ground. Pinto off of Spalding, corner. Appeal for a handball, referee does not concur. And there is no VAR to look again.
One-on-one quality at Jacker, isolates Ryan Dogman, the hips, that little hesitation right there in the burst from Jacker. Right on cue, what you asked for in the balance on the width. Nearly the benefactor of Lady Luck inside the box. Not a handball there, certainly not on the second one that comes back through. Well done to remain resolute by Malik Pinto on the back line.
And it hit an arm there at the end, but the way it deflected up off another player, I don't think you're calling that. Corner for Lopez and Sacramento. Ball hit the back post. Runner waiting for Sacramento. Kleeman saying he'd been hampered.
Certainly some tussling just inside the 18, but didn't feel like that look right there. There was enough for the referee to point to anything. This angle low, always going to be an infraction. That tells a different story, doesn't it?
That's a bear hug.
Milutinovic knew what he was doing in traffic, but as the congestion starts to subside, a bit fortunate the angle for the referee was just tucked in on the top of this 18 near side of the screen. Prohibited him from being able to get a clear view.
Yeah, the dark arts are funny. You as a former center back know as well as anybody. It was a lot easier when you didn't have 12 cameras pointed at the game. That's the sinister laugh of someone who knows better.
That's why I'm here with you now. I knew the microscope was honing in.
Here's Desmond. Spalding. Run back by Jamison. Winner sees New Mexico. Sacramento would be at home. Orange County would be on the road in Albuquerque. Phoenix and Tulsa will match up in the opposite conference semifinal. Tapped outside to Spalding. Spalding galloping, getting the cross away, bounces high. Lopez was trying to track it down, and Traeger put that in a different zip code.
Much better intensity on the left wing here to start the second half for Sacramento Republic. Brian Spalding, really vertical in his ways. Just keep an idea of what would be for this midfield pairing. Blake Willie and Benitez struggling right now to keep connection. The good news is they've linked up well with the outside. A lot of separation between those two. Opens up space and what would be a chance for Orange County to slice through the middle.
Willie dispossessed. Hagart leads the charge the other way. Flutters this out. Jamison joined by Zuback. Jamison could go it alone, and does. Desmond.
Right on cue, you play high if you're Blake Willie as Benitez comes back over. Hagard sees it, love the vision. Cuts right through the heart of the midfield, and this is where Jamison, that first touch has got to be in front of him. As you keep it close, you close off the opportunity, Mike, of pushing down into the channel. Great job by Lee Desmond. That's a veteran defender, just keeping the game in front of him, not taking the bait and parrying aside.
Throw for Orange County. Games in hand, the final month of the season, and finally they got over the hump the final day, defeating Indy and jumping Colorado Springs into the 7 seed, taking Lexington out of the playoffs. Good bit of play, leading Lopez down into the left channel. Devin, the gymnastics mentally for a manager in a playoff game are so unique to me. You've got a player who scored 15 or more goals 3 years running, dealt with injuries this year, only 8, available off the bench. How much time can Russell Cicerone actually give you in this game? And you could say that about a couple players for each team. This will deflect out over the end line for a corner.
It's not just about time, it's about intensity that would come along with that. If you're talking about a 1-0 game in favor of Sacramento Republic and you need wheels and the ability to chase for 15, 20 minutes, he's got you. If you're talking about a 0-0 game where not as many opportunities are coming and you want him to go the distance, that's a much heavier lift for Russell Cicerone. Bring him in with 20 minutes to go real quick. That could be 50 minutes and could actually end up hindering the player long term.
Service through, Vitiello slaps it away. And Lopez to halfway. Squares. Willie has probably been able to run 100 yards by his lonesome on 4 total occasions through midfield. Pirano. Lopez turns down the overlap of Spalding. Tower Bridge Battalion, loud, numerous, constant. 2022 Open Cup finalist, this Sacramento team, 2014 championship winner. It's the 2021 champion, Orange County. That is Pinto who goes down. Young Player of the Year in 2019. He was a trialist in San Antonio. Earned a trek overseas to Portugal and then returned to help San Antonio win the title back in 2022.
Still feel like we've never really hit the peak for Christian Pirano.
Agreed. He's only 25.
Yeah, any manager will tell you that they've seen glimpses of a player that could be an MVP in this league. Unfortunately, the consistency factor creeps in, injuries that have been involved as well, Mike, and within that, the ups and downs, it's difficult for a manager to figure out exactly what version of Christian Pirano you're going to get. No doubt that 30 yards and in, he's electrifying in nature.
He of the killer P's on that San Antonio team. He and playoff Patino. It was a pretty extraordinary run under Alan Marcina, that San Antonio team.
Even with him coming back, it was not enough against the force that is Dennis Sanchez and New Mexico United last night. 2-0 for San Antonio FC.
So maybe Dennis is what went well for Las Vegas last year. Biggest year-over-year point turnaround in Western Conference history, second best in league history. But Las Vegas back in the basement this year, promising better next year. Dennis Sanchez hopping to New Mexico over the offseason after Eric Quill departed. Did a phenomenal job and not done yet. Fun part about the three teams in the West, this from range, won't test Vidiello. Tulsa just set a new club attendance record. And, well, Sacramento, I guarantee 11,569 for a final, and New Mexico would be something, what, 13,000, 14,000 at the lab? You can count me in on that. Catch more playoff footy as the NWSL's best go head-to-head. A quarterfinal matchup November 8th at noon Eastern on CBS and streaming live on Paramount+. Driven away by Desmond. Well done. Absent a stretcher, I don't see Rodrigo Lopez leaving of his own volition tonight. Such the case when you don't know whether you'll ever tie your boots up the same way ever again. Spalding, the aforementioned Lopez. This is one of the only professions in which you try and push off retirement. Benitez. Saw Didier Drogba go on a heck of a run with Phoenix a couple of years ago where he just, and Orange County unfortunately was on the wrong end of it. But Didier Drogba's final goal as a professional soccer player was in Orange County in a playoff game.
Match number 10, Tristan Traeger. He's replaced by number 8, Usmani Silla. Substitution presented by Meneganis.
Usman Silla replaces Tristan Traeger. This dude's going to change the game.
That pocket of space that I talk about underneath the front line, his capability out on the width, incredible vision. Four-year player at Clemson, 48 goal contributions, including 23 his senior year. 2 national titles, the final in 2023, culminating in the Mack Herman Award, the Heisman of college soccer. No fear for Usman Silla. And an incredible strike from distance if he wants. Loves to really play atop the 18 and make you think about what you're capable of defensively.
Spoke to Benny Olsen after he made him a second-round draft pick in Houston, and he said, in preseason, we knew immediately why we had our eyes on him in the first place.
Well, the problem for Usman Silla is he got stuck behind some really good players within the midfield. Coco Carrasquilla, Hector Herrera for the Houston Dynamo, and then picked up injuries. So even though you're looking at a second-year pro, he really didn't get up to top level until about September of this year. Slow to get started because he was out of shape, then picked up injuries and came into form towards the tail end of this season. 2 goals down the stretch that really gave belief into this attack for Orange County, and the type of playmaker that has the quality of talent to take over any game anytime he wants.
He knocks it back here. Late winners against San Antonio and Indy 11 in the final month of the season spurred Orange County into the playoffs. The winner in each of their last 2 victories.
What you want to see is how frustrating he can make the midfield now for Sacramento Republic. It takes pressure off Kelly and Partita because of how much he's willing to drop. But in the blink of an eye, just like that, you'll see him pop up, and real quick, he sits right on that back line. This is where communication has to be at a premium when Hagar and Zubak start to move off the ball, find link-up play with Silla.
Looping diagonal, Spalding. himself into that. The referee concurs. Sacramento twice before the 1 seed. About a month ago, they were in contention for that. Form lets down. Tulsa never relented.
As ball retention becomes more of a topic of conversation for Orange County, you do wonder if Neil Collins, not even if, when he's willing to go to the bench. The game would quickly call for a Corey Bennett type player. Streakiness in nature, good runs that constantly challenge the angles on the back line. You would lose the quality of ball at feet for a player like Sebastian Herrera, but the higher line defensively, his speed, a big asset, matched up against guys like Latinovic and Nico Benalcazar, center backs for Orange County.
Kelly steps down. Did change bandage color at halftime. That nasty knock in the first half went from the white bandage to charcoal. I thought he was supposed to match the jersey color. Maybe that's just the way it usually seems to work out. Those bandages. Wow. If Jamison could get there. It's a good idea. Decent spell here for Orange County. To Shuttler. He's got a goal in his career, Shuttler. Against Sacramento, of course. Out of season openers past. Kelly. Outside Jamison. Staggers in. Give and go, flutters high, touched over by Partita, blast is deflected. Kelly's livid. Injured Sacramento player is Benitez.
This one makes you question exactly what you had for dinner, putting it nicely.
Well, the subs that Neil Collins is preparing are proof that he has no interest in playing with his food tonight. Bennett and Cicerone, carnivorous attacking players set to join in a moment.
Certainly aggressive, Neil Collins. Not surprised that the Corey Bennett sub for Sebastian Herrera. Already addressed that, but the idea they're going to go win this in regulation with the addition of Russell Cicerone. I want to see how this changes Roro Lopez's role. With that separation, Mike, you would feel like they give a little bit more of a 10 look for Russell or Roro Lopez, just pop it in centrally. Again, he likes to work off of this left-hand side. And you want to make sure you're continuing to eliminate Malik Pinto from the possessional moves up high. But that pocket of space has to also create link-up play. You gain that with more aggression by Roro Lopez in the middle. Joe Benitez can also fill that void.
Silla settles and carries forward. Out to Jamison. Caromed off of Spalding. Lopez to halfway. Handball. It's against Herrera. Talk about the value of him with the ball at his feet. That's not what they were looking for. Silla. Tried to work off Hagard. That duo has been so impressive. Pirano carries out of harm's way. Streaking ball in for Gurr. Gurr's appeal goes unheard. And here come the changes. So the first one's easy. Herrera off if you're going to bring Bennett on. So a different look up front. And then Pirano will take leave. And Russell Cicerone scored by his standard a low number of goals the past couple of years. 8 goals this year, 5 a season ago, 15 plus the 3 seasons previous to that. Comes on. Subs 2 and 3, first window utilized. Spalding came on at the half.
With the understanding for Cicerone, he hasn't touched the field of play since September 27th. A 1-0 loss at the hands of Jordan Stewart in Monterey Bay. Difficult to ramp up the intensity. 20 minutes to go, but again, the whole idea here with the addition of both he and Corey Bennett for Sacramento Republic is aggression up high, put this back line under pressure, and to go win it.
The average USL first-round playoff game dating back to 2015 has averaged precisely 3 goals a game. It is less than 1 this year, not a single crooked number. 3 or more. Spalding denied.
He's in. That's a great turn by Usman Silla. That's one where the tendency of your teammate, Mike, because of the angled run, you want that ball in the air. Difficult for the defender to judge it, plus it's back over the shoulder and drop it right in front of Ethan Zubak. If anything, it also allows you to reset your defensive line. A mistake there with the ball on the ground is only ever going to favor Sacramento.
Cicerone. Curves back inside, Willie. Circulates, Lopez. Lopez crossing, Shuttler climbing. Only 6 goals in the first round of the playoffs this year. There'd never been fewer than 19 dating back to 2016, which is the first round in which these teams met in a 1-8 upset. Kelly. Silla. That'll play. No comment on Kelly's wardrobe change at halftime, by the way?
It's like staring in a mirror for me.
Uh-huh. Hagard. Silla. Hogman seeks the return. Gurr got there first, but he touched it last. Corner. Gurr from Newcastle played at Little Gateshead. He's a youth. NAIA in the U.S. at Georgia Gwinnett before signing with Atlanta. Went from there to a partner club in Aberdeen and has been well respected for sure in Sacramento. Navigating for space, the ball across, Benalcazar. And there is Vitiello. Let's take a look at the Best Western upcoming schedule. Conference semifinals next weekend. The League One final will be on the Golasso Network. And then the USL Championship final on CBS and Paramount Plus, November 22nd, noon Eastern. Service through the box, punctured, but ultimately Cicerone can't get a touch. And then a tug that comes with the world's most obvious yellow card. Benitez booked.
Love the reaction here from Ousmane Sylla. Watch the first step that you get out of the midfielder. Immediate understanding, gotta close the space, then feels the pressure. While he doesn't have the ability to cut it back, then the balance that he gives himself. Low center of gravity, just strong core to fend off Michel Benitez. Well done by the substitute from Orange County.
Cicerone intervenes.
This is where the cat and mouse game has become a little bit more aggressive between the two managers. They have tried to utilize Stephen Kelly, Orange County, a bit more in the buildup, but as he drops, Ousmane Sylla has to come deeper down into the midfield next to Partida. So what does Sacramento Republic do? They're not taking the bait. They're not pressing higher to open up space. Instead, they're dropping off, doing a really good job of keeping the game in front of them. I'd be testing him right now off that back line. Latinovic or Benalcazar, keep the back three of Sacramento Republic honest. Dink one or two up over the top, take the speed of Jamison, utilize Chris Hagar, put some real pressure on him, pin him back, and get back to that 50 to 60 minute window where they were really good with the ball at their feet on balancing side to side.
Spalding. That had some kind of English on it. Cicerone, he likes his odds here. Cicerone slip ahead. Spalding could not get a turn. He orchestrated the miracle at Bonnie in 2014, the USL semi. Won the final a week later. Towbridge Battalion behind their captain. Turns away Benitez. Looks like he has his eyes on fluttering this into the box. Their magic in a set piece. Shuttler came running. Gurr tried to get something on it. The run out's on for Orange County the other way. Can he slip it through? No. Spalding, of all people, got back. And he created the chance on the other end. Benitez, former Chivas player, his debut there under Matias Almeida. Spalding, corner. Your eyes are where?
Like to see a better movement on the back post here for Sac Republic. Service has been semi-decent, but not enough separation. Create congestion, spin off, open up space for the redirect.
Benitez, that didn't make it to the far post in that instance. Gurr. Nope.
Love that move by goalkeeper from Orange County, Colin Shuttler, just slowing it down, reestablish some rhythm within the group overall. One of the crazier stats that I've heard at any level of this game was from Colin Shuttler. His team in 2019 with the Cavaliers all the way to the College Cup final, fell just short. He was an All-ACC goalkeeper, All-American that season. He was the first Virginia goalkeeper to be All-ACC since 1989, Tony Miola.
Wow.
I mean, there is an unreal amount of talent that has come out of that school. And the fact that you went nearly 3 decades in order to get to that conversation, unreal.
You know, I didn't know the stat that you were going to give. That one really took my breath away.
He'd probably have the national title instead of the All-American status, though.
True enough.
Littered with pros, that team was. Henry Kessler, Joe Bell, Daryl DK, dear Lord.
Wow.
Cozy Donaciano.
Just gotta sit there and go, how didn't they? But it's a cruel, cruel game. Well, it's cruel to Virginia.
Colin Shuttler, Brett Halsey, I'll get that one.
Was Bruce coaching that 89 team? Am I doing that map?
Absolutely he was.
Yeah.
Wow. If I'm not mistaken, in 1989, Bruce Arena was still in charge of the women's team as well.
Yeah. Memory serves it. There was a point in which he was coaching lacrosse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. At Virginia. He's on the other side of the bay.
Yeah.
Silla. Jamison, wacky, wavy, inflatable arm, flailing tube man over there. Ball pops out to Cicerone. Haggard. Thanks for sticking with us on a school night. Sacramento, Orange County, 0-0, 83 minutes now. No winner in regulation. We move on to extra time. And penalties loom with Devin Kerr, Michelle Montaigne on the sideline. Mike Watts on hand. Winner faces the 3rd seed New Mexico next weekend in the Western Conference semifinal. This the 8th and final game. There have been 3 upsets, 1 and 2 in the East, 4 in the West, all dispatched. Out to Spalding. Cicerone takes on Jamison. Hair flailing in all directions. That runs out.
Orange County SC substitution in the 84th minute. Maybe the match number 11.
That's it for Bryce Jamison. Is that it for him in Orange County? Already been sold to Colorado Rapids. Returned on loan for the remainder of the year. Jamison out of the Barca Residency Academy made his debut with the club a few years ago, signed in 2022. And still a teenager, unbelievably. And Mohamedou War enters in. War, the 25-year-old former trialist twice over from Los Angeles, on in his stead. Willie shoved down.
Love what I just saw out of Lee Desmond. Been asking for more aggression off this back line, Jared Timmer included. Leave Freddie Kleeman there. Structures, quality overall, not enough pressure. Have to be more aggressive moving off of this three. Help change the shape of what's in front of you. Alleviate some of the one-on-one situations and start to create some separation for this front line. The slow recognition initially opens up the square ball back across. You'd still like better decision making if you're Mark Briggs by Lee Desmond, but a much better look overall.
Can you win your one-on-one? Lopez. Corner. Off the head of Pinto. Ask Neil Collins, all you've accomplished, haven't lifted the trophy at the end. Why is this team going to be the one that does it? He said, look at the roster. 7, 8 guys who played 100+ games in Sacramento. Several more with over 100 games in the league. We've got the experience. No one's more ready to do it. Can they? Will they? Lopez. Benitez. Squares. Shuttler punched it away. We've hardly seen Corey Bennett in an advanced position prove to be a threat. He's defending in this instance. Belongs to OC.
Roro Lopez and Russell Cicerone changing sides. They're stuck underneath, and within that, Corey Bennett stuck between the two center backs. Stephen Kelly has continued to push more up into the midfield, trying to alleviate some space that Ousmane Silla has been stuck in. Free him coming forward, create more.
Willie. The Orange County fans who line section 111 for their displeasure. County Line Coalition, pale in numbers on the road to the Tower Bridge Battalion, but they trekked all the way up to Northern California for it. All whipped across. Shuttler. Passed a lot of Spalding. He got there. Spalding taking on War. Spalding across. Cicerone! The chances, they've been oh so fleeting. Is there anyone in the world you would have rather seen that drop to? Alas.
Frustration by Cicerone. He doesn't get the first one. That's a big boy tackle by Ryan Spalding. Wanted the cutback there. And within it, he's now got to pick up speed to close space. Comes up over the top of it. Doesn't stay down enough. And this is also a player, as we mentioned, has not seen the field of play in about 6.5 weeks. Should have been the go-ahead, and more than likely would have been the game winner.
17 goals in his debut season for Sacramento. He's only managed to play 46 of 64 games in the regular year since. 13 goals in that span over the preceding 2 seasons now. But he could be the guy tonight. Playoffs are meant for heroes. We're still waiting to find out now into the 90th minute who tonight's hero is going to be. War. Free kick. Yellow card. That is Willie, joins Benitez in the book.
Young player in the moment. Listen, he's trying to make a play on it. He just doesn't have to. That's where you want to stand him up. Look at all the jerseys from Sacramento Republic. Better decision, stay on your feet, stay tight. Apply pressure, yes, but don't need to leave your feet and certainly not commit a foul.
They've had a penchant for the late goal recently, Orange County. They can shatter Sacramento hearts. If Kelly has picturesque service within him. Kelly, Vitiello's coming, he got there. It's offside anyway. 2 added minutes separate us from 30 more. Is either team going, extra time sounds fine? Or are you trying to win it right now?
No, if you're Neil Collins from Sacramento Republic, you've been very clear you want to end this in regulation. Really, outside of a 20-minute stretch, start of the second half for Orange County, they've continued to chase throughout this match. They don't want to have to do it any further. Unfortunately, given their inability to really push up high and frustrate Sac Republic, it seems another half hour lays in waiting.
Devin, you are never going home.
Thanks for the reminder.
One more minute. Shuttler is halfway to a yellow card. Launches it away with a minute remaining. Spalding, Spears. Winner now would surely come on a goal for either side. Hardly any time remaining. Pinto trying to orchestrate traffic. Foul. That should be enough to take us to 30 more. Yellow card as well. Do wonder, Partita had walked away.
Yellow card in the 90th minute on Orange County, number 19, Kevin Partita.
But he suffered this indignity. Header. Bennett! Bennett! That's maybe the best chance Sacramento's had in the half. Just won a corner out of it for Shuttler.
Of course, Jack Kerr's the one to go up and win it. Always fleet of foot. Good little flick on Bennett. Well done to just drop that shoulder. Create an equilibrium and something out of nothing.
Now we're another 30. Here it is. Benitez toward Bennett. Gurr upended. Orange County's gonna get a chance to run here. Advantage played. Ball ahead. Final kick upcoming. War crossing. Settled. Deflected. Surely that must be it. And it is. How in the world did they allow that to get from end to end? 0-0. Moving on to extra time.
Still struggling for decision-making overall for both of these teams. Inside the 20-yard mark. Feels like a set-piece night for the one shining moment nearly created by the creativity of Usman Silla. Love the idea of this ball back across. Great vision by Ward, and the way that it cuts through, the back line pushes off, always going to be space. But Jared Timmer selling himself for the greater good of Sacramento to keep it knotted up at 0.
Free soccer. We're never going home. This game has lacked chances but not drama. The 2 and the 7 are going to take this quarterfinal fight into extra time when we return on CBS Sports Network. This is the USL Championship Western Conference quarterfinal, and if you thought we'd have a bunch of goals or that we'd be going home in 90 minutes, you are out of your mind. The first round is not played that way, and we are going to extra time. These sides met in the 2016 Western Conference quarterfinal. The 1 seed, the 8 seed. It was a high-quality, low-definition game. Sacramento misses their middle spot kick, and Orange County, then the Blues, ousting Sacramento in pens, one of the exceedingly rare 1-8 upsets. And Orange County has their eyes on something similar tonight.
Interestingly enough, Sacramento Republic would actually repay the favor next year as the 8 seed to the then Mark Briggs coached Real Monarchs. And interesting, we call this the biggest, smallest world. The winning penalty kick taker that night for Sac Republic, Maryland's own All-American and national title winning Jeremy Hall. Now, that year was 2017. Let's stay in 2017. Maryland in the NCAA tournament that year got upset. The team, Albany. In goal, Danny Vitiello.
Unbelievable. There he is. Fear the beard. Will it take pens? Who the heck knows? But, Devin, I think we got what we were promised here. I mean, it's been contentious in moments. We've seen Orange County in transitional moments nearly at the end of the game off that set piece. Could have been a winner. We've seen Sacramento possess high up the field, but maybe lack that killer instinct last moment. What's the conversation here in the huddles?
If I'm Danny Stone for Orange County, stay the course, be smart. The only risks you are going to take are over midfields. You have to be really clean in your decisions right now. And specific instructions to Ethan Zubak to leave every ounce that's in the tank out there up top in the 9. Frustrate the back line and just keep an eye on the space because it's going to come. Neil Collins, Sacramento Republic. Do not go back into the dark place that has been the last 4 matches, only 1 win in that time frame. You've had chances in this game. You have the leadership of Rover Lopez, and you have the quality and depth. Make the right decision with all of the chances we've given ourselves just one time, 20 yards and in. That's what he's told his boys.
Well, a reminder as we head into extra time, and for fans of these clubs that haven't seen it throughout the season, you get a 6th sub and a 4th substitution window to utilize. So Sacramento making a double change here. Jared Timmer had only gone 60 minutes in a game once since coming back from injury. It was against Miami. So Timmer plays 90. He's got to come out. Cody Baker in for him. And then Michel Benitez was on a yellow card, replaced by Nick Ross. Comes back from injury himself. Those are 5 subs, 3 windows, 1 sub remaining. And you can see Partita has navigated to the bench for this extra time period as well. Tom Brewitt plays for the first time in months. Just returned to training and plops in to this game for the final 30. Let's do it. Winner sees New Mexico in the conference semifinals. Game on. How much do things change in extra time for one team or the other? Or do you just continue with what you've done for 90?
One foot in front of the other. Both have found success, albeit some shortcomings on the attacking side of the ball, but some really good builds for both teams. Defensively, the chink is certainly going to be on Orange County. But again, the overall decision-making has gotten in the way for Sacramento Republic. They've had far too many chances in the channel and just outside the box to walk away with the poor quality that has been. If you're a numbers guy, I know you are, Mike.
Yeah, sure.
Overall chance creation between the two. The XG number that people talk about in modern football is just above 1.0, and that's nearing 20 shots on the match. Only one has hit the 8x8, and that was Sacramento Republic.
Won by Orange County. But we head down to Michelle, who had her ears on the Orange County huddle during the break. Michelle.
Well, listening to Devin, it sounded like he might as well have been in the huddle. I was listening to Danny Stone. He had one message. He said he was really happy with what he's seen here in the second half. For them to just keep going, do the defending, do the set pieces, do the work, and then be ready for that golden moment. But who needs me when we've got Devin Kerr basically anticipating those exact words in the booth?
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, you know, Devin over here with satellite dishes for ears.
Little does Danny Stone know that microphone I gifted him was two-way for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Parked it in the luggage, made its way to the sideline, and here we are.
Popped up here. Met by Spalding. Although this is a select league, for those that are wondering. Talking about balls. Player's choice, of course. Service through, up above Zuback. The upsets plentiful. 8 games in this round. Already 3 upsets. El Paso, Louisville, Charleston's seasons end in surprising, if shocking, fashion. And it all comes down to this final game. See who advances onto the conference semis. Sacramento trying to evade being the 3rd top 2 seed to get ousted. Gurr, excellent. Baker. It's really his first interaction in this game. Bounced off Baker, but too far for Gurr.
Not surprised at the tactical change for Danny Stone, moving Malik Pinto up into the midfield. Actually like the relationship between he and Stephen Kelly better. It's a risk, though, and the reason I say that is Muhammadu War, makeshift outside back. Danny Stone said they would go that direction, but dropping into more of a 3 center back system, that's not a normal look for Orange County, except to close the game out. At times, they struggle in their overall build, and they lack a presence within the midfield, which is where they've gone to start this OT period.
Ball whipped into the path of Vitiello. Spalding met his maker. Ooh, little extra there. Malicious, no, but point well taken by War.
A little bit more on the back end of this here that Mohamed War, very aware, unnecessary in the moment. Spalding saying thank you in his own way.
Lopez or Spalding.
Play 2v1 on that far side right now. There you go.
Lopez! Can you imagine that? A bolt of lightning from Rodrigo Lopez.
Can't convince me this hit the post. Thought this was Colin Shuttler. Saw it a mile away. Nick Ross dragged the player in. Oh, Roro Lopez. Oh my. I mean, that is inches away from golden glory.
It takes a lot for a goal to be the best. Yeah, I read your lips, Roro, I know. To be maybe the best goal of his career, that would have been up in that mix.
Your Neil Collins on the sideline though, Mike. That's real good thoughts that are running through two players' minds synced up in the moment. Emotionally, you're driven right now. You can't let that override you. Very calm in a set-piece situation to make a proper decision. An incredible look at net.
Haggard. Lopez. Foul from Bennett. Inside from Dogman. Silla. Haggard. War. Overlap. The cross! Nothing to that. Tinovich waving Bennett back up. Orange County could not find a center back. They find Vuk Latinovic on a 25-day deal, ultimately extend him through the season. The guy's hardly left the field. Surging campaign in his career. Time in Estonia, Greece, and Norway after winning MLS Cup. He's a role player at NYC. Pops up toward Dogman. Gurr intervenes. Lopez thought he had the outlet to Bennett. Kelly. Silla. Work off Zubac. 100 minutes. Not a goal to gain, not yet. We'll go another 5, if nothing. Head into the second extra time, flip sides. Well, even if there is something, we'll still do that. Get to 120 one way or another. And if tied then, we'd go to spot kicks.
That's Roro Lopez, by the way. You couldn't drag him off the field right now. 100 minutes into this game. Announced that he'd be retiring at the end of the season. He's played 90 minutes in the league just once this year. 2-0 victory back against Colorado Springs late September. Did a very good job of regulating his workload, tapering at the right times, and the plus minus with him on the field, off the field, astronomical in nature, near undefeated when Roro Lopez is on. Certainly bodes well for Sacramento Republic, even with the scoreline at 0-0.
Lopez, give and go, well worked off Baker. Lopez, Lopez! It's like he wants to shoulder the whole load.
And mine starts slowing down here for Orange County. Started with Chris Hagard in an advanced position as Pinto rotates back out. Hagard can't keep up. The odometer much too high for Hagard. And Roro Lopez, he saw glory. Fear starts to creep in as a defender. You don't want to make the mistake of stepping up in and letting them exploit the space in behind, but you have to maintain aggression. Players like Roro Lopez will make you pay.
Shuttler. He was the backup to Patrick Rakowski, the 21 title-winning goalkeeper. He arrived in 2022. Club win, clean sheet, save record holder. 98 saves a season ago. Saved 4 more goals than analytics say he should have. I gotta tell you, Michelle's got the best seat in the house down there. Midfield, I mean, woo.
She's got to adjust to the elements.
The elements of having an awesome time. Yeah.
The weather dropping in Sacramento at night can be unkind.
Oh, sure.
At times.
That. Baker. Wow, through. Gurr! Toward Bennett. Got by. Chance to shoot. Well. Little interchange. Willie, nearly the hero.
Great vision. I love this run from Jack Gurr. You're so used to seeing him push the pace down into the corner. But the way that he's able to bend his run in behind the back line, incredible from Sacramento Republic. Shades of the first half for Blake Willie. Just got to stay down on that ball. He too carrying some tired legs into the 105th minute.
Advantage for Orange County. And Alcazar. Silla! Not that time. Montaigne is braving the elements. Michelle, what's it like down there?
It has gotten very cold, and as a self-proclaimed very soft person, I brought a winter coat. But the biggest thing, guys, is this like moisture really not doing good things for my hair. It's quite frizzy at this moment, but you know what? I can't complain. It is a pretty excellent seat in the house.
Amazing hearing that from someone who has hair. These are problems I don't have. Yeah, it's about 64 degrees and gonna dip into the low 60s by penalties if we get that far. You go to Monterey Bay, hour and a half up the road, and you get to this time of night and you have the fog rolling in. Makes for one of the more unique atmospheres in the championship. It looks like you're finishing a game in the Scooby-Doo ghost machine.
Move in the middle right now. Got to be at a premium for Sacramento. Orange County struggling with the pace. That's got to be on Nick Ross. Blake Willie dragging the runners in space with you. Jack Gurr has done an excellent job of pushing himself up high. Good balance on the back line. You have to be willing to be more aggressive off the ball. Oh, watch out, right in front of the bench.
That's Haggard and Lopez. If you're an Orange County player on the bench, you need to get away. The referee is utilizing only the captain, trying to get everybody out of his path. There's more going on the ground. The coaching staff appears in the midst of it. A very ugly twist. Haggard is incensed. They do not have VAR to look at this.
This could be reds for both. Could be. All about the view and the conversation that ensues with the assistant referee. Haggard leaned into this one. He comes up through Roro Lopez, but there is a response from the captain of the Quails. Saw a kick out at the tail end of it.
Here it is. Back pocket. Red card. No way. No way. Lopez set off. That might be it for him in Sacramento. Haggard thrown out as well. Never could you have seen this coming. Unreal.
Certainly there's pressure as you move right towards the center portion of the field. Now, the tackle there, Roro steps in, but Haggard leans right through him. Yes, foul, yes. A red is understandable, but both the punch and the kick out from Roro Lopez, unnecessary in the moment. And two of the most impactful players on the field tonight, the most consistent down the stretch, are into the showers early. Kept talking about emotion, staying calm. Good decision making, and it's boiled over for both these leaders.
It's not often you're left absolutely shocked. Rodrigo Lopez, league legend, set to retire at season's end, sent off in the final seconds of the first extra time period. Pinto goes to speak to him. He would be suspended for at least the conference semifinal. So if he's to play again for Sacramento, the Republic would need to make the final in the West. And in doing so, this could be the last action he plays at home for Sacramento. The referee just showed a yellow for dissent to somebody in that mix. The dissent from the Tower Bridge Battalion is unrelenting. And then Haggard, maybe the most critical piece of the Orange County midfield, has been sent off as well. An additional yellow for dissent just got handed, I believe, to Russell Cicerone.
What are the odds, by the way? Back-to-back Reds. Orange County, Sacramento Republic, Chris Haggard, Roro Lopez. Just over 105 minutes into this game, 90+6 earlier today in the East. Both the Charleston Battery and Rhode Island FC, recipients of similar. Husu Landry, Jojea Quizera sent packing, both games down to 10 in the dying embers.
And we have a little bit of history. 2 red cards here makes it the most ejection-heavy fixture in USL Championship history. 14 reds between these teams. Passes Orange County and Phoenix, Charleston, and the ghost of Wilmington Hammerheads. Everything just changed.
But the message is going to be from both managers, it's over. Sure, you can use it as motivation, but calmer heads are always going to prevail. Now, how does it affect the groups moving forward? Roro Lopez, resume speaks for itself. Leadership, gone. Experience, gone. Playmaking ability for that front group is the biggest asset you lose. Being able to replace it in the moment, it's not possible. You look down the bench, you just don't have that type of player in general, yet alone the injuries they've had to deal with. But the structure can stay the same because centrally you're okay. If you're Orange County, the loss of Chris Haggard is a big loss, not just because of his impact on the outside, but what he does for link up and trying to release Ryan Dogman on that left flank. Don't anticipate them making a change immediately because Usman Silla can play from outside and he has that ability to cut out, but you do lose something in the midfield here, and that space will be advantage Sacramento.
So Haggard out for Orange County, Rodrigo Lopez out for Sacramento. What has Rodrigo done for you tonight? He's had 2 chances to put this thing away.
The first one here from distance was unreal. Thought Colin Schuller was able to get on the end of it. Instead, absolutely not. Pinpoint accuracy, if not for the post. You're talking about one of the best we've ever seen in postseason play. This one, thought was fully in. Just a little bit underneath it. Goalkeeper beat, rising, but never enough at the end. Night's over for Roro Lopez, but the journey continues on.
And then Rodrigo Lopez and Chris Haggard come to blows. It's the initial tackle from Haggard, followed by kicking and punching out from Lopez, and both sent off in unison. Change here for Sacramento. It is now their 6th and final sub. Willie off, Luis Felipe on. When Rodrigo Lopez's son, Roman, needed to undergo a surgery to repair heart defect, it was Luis Felipe who started a GoFundMe that caught fire around the championship and in Sacramento. We've spoken with him about what Rodrigo means to this club, what Roman means to this club, and he's back playing again, Roman is, but Luis Felipe will try and keep this season alive long enough for Rodrigo to get back on the field. That would be at least 2 more games. Orange County down their most impactful midfielder. Will try and advance in a 7-2 upset on the road. 15 more minutes and we'll play 10v10. I've seen a lot in this league. not a lot leaves me speechless. That does. You went through sort of the tactics of how you go about this moving forward from a motivation standpoint. Is either side going, we're playing with 10, penalties are a better outcome?
No. In terms of chance creation, Orange County might have it in the back of their mind, but they're not in survival mode right now. They want to thrive. If you're, that's got a little on the end.
Referee trying to break this up before it gets out of hand. It's going to be a yellow card. It's going to go to Bennett. Luis Felipe just came into the game. He's having words with Brewitt. Bennett into the book.
This isn't about emotion boiling over from the coming to between Rodrigo Lopez and Chris Hagar. This is a striker in the moment who hasn't seen a ton and feels like with his speed he can close ground. Now, to be clear, there's a little bit more intent than actual impact on the goalkeeper here because of the follow through. The peanut gallery tells you there's no contact. There is. It's not as malicious in nature as you saw in live run of play. But again, intent can still be everything, and he does contact on the back end of this with Colin Shuttler. It's the right decision.
Michelle is sitting between the benches, is at a front row seat to all of this. Michelle, what are you hearing down there?
The irony of you guys saying I had the best seat in the house, and 10 minutes later, I was feet away from the little kerfuffle. Yeah, Chris Hagar was walked out. Crowd booing him, as you'd expect. Security did ensure that he was escorted out safely. Guys, I want to say, as Roro gave the captain band to Lee Desmond, Lee was seen going around to every single one of his guys saying, cool heads, cool heads. As you pointed out, Devin, that not malicious, that was not malicious, but you can tell that these guys, both sides, trying to calm their emotions after what was a very heated first extra time session.
Thank you, Michelle, and it is no longer cold on the sideline. Lee Desmond captained the team throughout the ACL recovery for Rodrigo Lopez, so playing with the armband affixed is not new. Player who himself injured his Achilles back in 2022, 30-year-old native Irishman. Penner back from Baker. In on loan from Seattle.
One of the moves at the tail end of the season for Neil Collins was to go and get Cody Baker on loan from Seattle. Gives you some flexibility, which is going to see them drop into a 4 here. Another move that we saw right after the Jaeger final. Mike, you were with me, had an extended conversation with Neil Collins about what they took away from the 2 instances. Hartford the second time, and then a match just after where he felt like they were able to create a lot, learn a lot. Front line a little bit more active. They built differently, the pressing patterns, something that Orange County, when you go through tape review coming in, you are not going to be familiar with this. This isn't a look that they use all the time. Understanding it's down to 10, it's still a very different build off the back line. Starting positions change, and difficult in the moment to relay that to your group if you're Danny Stone.
And to your point, that was the end of September. They've played 5 games since then. Felipe, most coaches will say, I look through 3, 4, 5 games, right? And then these teams played each other twice, but with the amount of movement throughout the year and injuries, and neither coach seemed to look back and say, oh, well, it's going to look a lot like that meeting. So you've got sort of a personnel understanding from having met in the regular year, and then you start to look at tape. The 4-back's a novel item to Sacramento by comparison.
Obviously confidence for Neil Collins coming out of those 2 games, Mike, because both ended up with just 1 point. They had a 3-2 loss to Hartford Athletic. That was the game just after the Jaeger final in league play, and then a 2-2 draw with Lexington. But Neil Collins feeling like this is the route for them to go. Good structure in the midfield. You can release with Cicerone on the outside, and Corey Bennett, the tip of the spear.
Both playing with 10. Players sent off at the end of the first period of extra time. Just when it seemed like a lot of the rough and tumble of the early minutes of this game had elapsed. We're poised to go the distance tonight. If Sacramento were to be knocked out, it's worth noting Rodrigo Lopez would be much like Clint Dempsey, the never-ending suspension from the red card wedding. Collision here. Belongs to OC, walk it forward. It's Zuback. Ball rolled back by Ashton Miles, who came in following what would lightly be described as a kerfuffle. 21-year-old Huntington Beach, California native. Springs outside, War on the move, War into the box. Circumnavigating, seeking space. Sella. Bennett chasing. Touched over by Brewitt. Collision, got the ball. Out to War. Again, stymied. Silla trying to manipulate. Service into the box. Forward from Miles. Desmond leads the charge out the other side. Desmond skirting free. Ross. What a title fight this turned out to be between the 2014 and 2021 USL Championship winners. Ross leading Baker. Room to explore. Spalding. Ross. Felipe. He's got that in his arsenal. Beware. Cicerone. Cicerone. Free kick. What a place to win one.
Wasn't sure how much contact there was in the moment on the little step out. Still don't think that's a foul. This is Cicerone stepping out across and having two left feet in the moment. He's right to argue for it. Malik Pinto, wrong decision by the referee. A gift to Sacramento.
What's more, he got a yellow card for it too. If you think it is a foul, you almost have to give it. Both playing with 10. Neither player is exactly the linchpin defensively on set pieces. But we saw that sort of extensive paper Bible of tactics they flipped throughout. You got to know who your man is here. Gurr. He can do things that are just special. Gurr! And the yellow card to Pinto, in fact, non-existent. Seen an error. Sacramento, they know penalties all too well. Wild game with Las Vegas last year, not the least of which on their mind. 5 minutes, maybe a bit more. Ross, Luis Felipe, Desmond, available to the left instead, played right by Kleeman. Now it's Desmond. Ross, Spalding, the numbers are good. Can Spalding get the cross away? Trying to get the end line. Pinto.
Really good defending, Malik Pinto. From the first whistle, a lot of movement on the inside. He's had to chase. He played at the outside back spot. High IQ in the moment. You don't want to let the explosion of Spalding get down to the byline and cut back across, and doesn't take that little hesitation. Instead, stays strong on his toes. Top quality.
Just saw Danny Stone look down at his watch. Time through the hourglass. A set piece in front of the Tower Bridge Battalion. The service from Gurr. Awkward punch from Shuttler. Drops. Spalding! It's not going to count. It's a handball in advance of the shot. Shuttler got it anyways and pushed it up off the bar.
Does he call the contact on the hand, or is it the elbow that comes away from the body right there? Yep, that's what it is. Luis Felipe high, and certainly a foul. Colin Shuttler with the theatrics either way.
It's going to get much more theatrical for him in about 10 minutes. If there's not a goal first. Orange County does have subs remaining. And Cameron Dunbar plans to enter in a moment. War. Free kick. Foul suffered by Pinto. Whoa. Double change. I'm not sure Colin Shuttler saw this coming. Obviously, he's taking the gloves off. Tet Codono, the 25-year-old, is entering for Colin Shuttler in preparation for penalties. War being replaced by Dunbar. Wow.
Some set of stones from Danny.
That's one way to put it.
120th minute would be his 4th appearance on the year. Understanding that, yes, the former Big West goalkeeper out of the year from Cal State Fullerton, transfer from San Diego State.
Ball into the box.
This moment, down to 10 on the road. It's got to be the ace in the hole. He's certainly enjoyed what he's seen on the training ground.
Once regulation is done, you can't make a sub, so it had to be now. Ball whipped across. Dealt with Spalding. And the one thing you'd say, yeah, we're going to pens. There's no film on Codono. You have no idea what's coming. 120 in the books. And we are going to penalties in Sacramento. Hagart sent off for OC. Rodrigo Lopez got his first red since seeing it in 2020 against Sacramento. For Sacramento against Orange County. It is that kind of night. 0-0. It's up to the keepers now. Pens are coming up. We have gone the distance tonight in Sacramento. 2 seed hanging on by the skin of their teeth into penalties against Orange County. They finished with 10, and now it comes down to 5 rounds. Sacramento is all too familiar. Going to Las Vegas last year, this was all about goalkeepers standing out in the early rounds.
5 straight saves between Danny Vitiello and Rosarina from Las Vegas Lights. Blanked at the beginning of this, and then the big boys started to step up. After Ngondo, after Cicerone, Coleman Gannon, Nick Ross, Grayson Duty, Luis Felipe, and Valentin Noel would be perfect down the stretch. Valentin Noel now with New Mexico United thrust Las Vegas Lights forward in the Western Conference playoffs. And a memory to be forgotten, but kept as motivation for the Quails that were there.
Well, what a move from Danny Stone. You see Tet Kadono there in the background. 25 years old from Kobe, Japan. It's been a pretty good week for Japanese players in Southern California with the Dodgers having won the World Series. Kadono moving to Irvine, went to Woodbridge High School. Cal State Fullerton, you mentioned Big West goalkeeper of the year, time at San Diego State. And then he just bounced around. Irvine Zetas, Irvine Strikers, Ventura County Fusion. Can he just earn a pro deal? He earned one. He has never faced a professional penalty in his career.
Interestingly enough, you gotta love technology, the ability to dig into the vault of what is the background of Tet Kadono. Between his time at Cal State Fullerton and San Diego State, 4 separate occurrences over a 3-year span, where in league play at the collegiate level in regulation, he stepped up from the spot and eliminated the threat by the opposition, making 4 penalty saves. Again, that's in college. In a non-knockout game, you're talking about a different arena right now in California.
And Colin Shuttler went over. He knew. We were shocked, he wasn't. Took the gloves off, dapped up his teammate. Well, here we go. The most unknown goalkeeper in the championship against the best. And these 2 California clubs will decide it from the spot. Ethan Zubak begins. The change in his luck came with a new addition to the family. He welcomed a baby over the summer. His goal scoring went through the roof. He starts the shootout for Orange County. It is Zubak against Vitiello in the save. Danny Vitiello off to a hot start.
This is why he is the best goalkeeper in the championship. Any moment, anytime, any place from Vitiello. You want that further away if you're Zubak, but still, perfection from Danny Vitiello.
Russell Cicerone, one of the most elite goal scorers in the championship over the last 5 years. Only injury has kept him from similar numbers this campaign. And Tet Kadono steps into the spotlight in a way he never has before. Cicerone denied! Tet Kadono My goodness.
Run it back, round 2. The mirror image of Danny Vitiello. The same side, the same spot, the same outcome from Tet Cadono. Visions of grandeur from Danny Stone immediately into the limelight.
Danny Stone made 2 changes at the end of extra time. A goalkeeper and a penalty taker. Dunbar came on with a minute remaining for this single solitary kick. Can he put Orange County ahead in the shootout? Dunbar scores! Orange County into the catbird seat.
Love the downgrade here at the tail end. How's that hesitation, that little hop? The shades of Joseph Martinez and the success that was from 12 yards out. Vitiello knows he was bested by Cameron Dunbar. Good penalty.
5th year in Sacramento for Luis Felipe. That 2022 US Open Cup very dusted run had Luis Felipe's fingerprints all over it. Cadono awaits. Luis Felipe denied by Cadono. Tet 2 for 2. And Sacramento can't go tit for tat.
Long run up for any player that starts to come back across. He's a bit narrow in his run and doesn't have any power behind it. Telegraphs it. Still work to be done from Tet Cadono. Not a quality penalty whatsoever. Much easier for the goalkeeper to collect.
Malik Pinto out of Princeton, from Cincinnati to Colorado, acquired late in the season. This is his 11th game for Orange County. A goal in this moment puts them 2 ahead halfway through the shootout. The miss, a save, Sacramento can climb right back in. Pinto scores! Oh, that is perfection! Slithers inside the post.
More about hesitation from the goalkeeper. Decent penalty from Malik Pinto. But watch how his hips at the tail end, the way that he starts to step through, opens right away. Vitiello read it. That first step comes high, though, instead of lateral. He knows he was close.
All 5 takers have gone to the right. The shooters left. Nick Ross, you're getting to have it territory. Ross scores! Oh, ice in his veins. He went high and past Cadono.
Started the comeback for Sacramento last year against Vegas. This, a much better penalty. Caution to the wind. And confirmation that Nick Ross, even in the absence of reps, has still got it.
Vuk Latinovic signed a 25-day deal extended through the end of the season. He's been brilliant. Vuk turned away! Danny Vitiello! His second save! Sacramento can even it in the 4th round.
This is hit with real pace from Latinovic. I mean, that is an unreal read by Danny Vitiello. His reach, his understanding of what is running through the attacker's mind. Perfection attained once again from Danny Vitiello.
Corey Bennett missed in the shootout against Sacramento last year with Las Vegas. His team went on to advance anyways. The grass is greener here. Can Bennett right or wrong? Bennett scores! 2-2! What a shootout! What drama! Corey Bennett One goal can change your confidence. That gives Sacramento plenty. Usman Silla. 2 late game winners in the last month of the championship campaign. Put simply, no Silla, no playoffs. Plants it on the spot. Silla can put Orange County on the verge, or he can have Sacramento 1 kick away. Here it is. Silla down the middle.
Some gamesmanship here by Usman Silla. This ball was a little bit more than in front of the penalty mark. Surprised the referee, allowed him to take it. Look at that thing. Still a good pen. Up and away. Love how he rounds across this ball at the tail end of things. Good strike from Usman Silla.
And it comes down to Ryan Spalding. 9 games for Neil Collins at Tampa Bay in 2023. He sought him out at the beginning of the year after his time in New England concluded. Score, continue. Miss, go home. Spalding slams the select into the twine. Sudden death.
My favorite spot as a left footer. Head down, plant that right foot, and just unleash. Let physics take over. Across the body, your tendency, the shoulder drops, and success follows.
And now you're at players who didn't plan to take a penalty. Nico Benalcazar, 3 years at Wake, 2 years at New York City, and a year in Cincinnati. Every game this year but 1 he has started. 6th round of penalties. Benalcazar, calm as you like, slides it past Vitiello. And Sacramento pushed to the edge again. Vitiello, that last hop step, not to be. From one number 4 to the other. The captain sent off. Desmond stepped in. 3 trophies in his native Ireland at St. Pat's. Desmond, oh, whoa! Off the fingertips of Cadono. What a way to prolong the season.
And he knows by the skin of the chinny chin, he's kept it alive here. I like how he drives through it, but as tight as the lead up is, easier for the goalkeeper to get onto it. Nearly has another, and we continue 4th.
Look at that reaction. Tom Brewitt, captain of the side. He's been out for months. Returned to training this week. Brewitt. That is 3 straight makes for Orange County, 4 straight makes for Sacramento. Brewitt saying, Cadono, we got you.
Give him credit here. He has not had a lot of reps, Tom Brewitt, making his way back from injury. You would never know it, the way that he pushes through it. Good English on the ball. Right with the instep, full control the whole way.
4 years for Jack Gurr in Sacramento. Every time he makes a run, your heart jumps into your throat. Well, what is it now? Gurr turned away! Cadono, the hero! Orange County are through! A 7-2 upset for OC in Sacramento! If you were asking, who is Ted Cadono? You aren't alone. He is their secret weapon. He is Orange County's ticket to the conference semifinals. Unreal, Devin, unreal. 3 of the best 4 teams in the league ousted in the 1st round.
4 upsets overall in the first 8 games between the Eastern and Western Conference. It's a testament to the quality that is this league, but also how narrow the margins are. Head coach Danny Stone made a change just before the end of OT. His starter, Shuttler, out. Since the start of 2022, had only saved 1 of 13 penalties. Tet Kadono in, he saves 3 in 7 from 12 yards out to send Orange County on into the Western Conference semifinals.
Heck of a night for the Japanese athlete in Southern California. 3 stars for the Dodgers hoist the Commissioner's Trophy just last night. And Tet Kadono from Kobe, Japan, in penalties in just shocking fashion, entered at 119 minutes and wins it. That smile has never been bigger. How do you get a professional contract? How do you make the manager trust you in that moment? Tet Kadono leads 7-seed Orange County through. Dev, here's the bracket. We talked about the East. Who's the favorite? There isn't one.
There's no favorite in this league anymore. The momentum that you carried from the regular season for most teams is gone. You know, recognizing, yes, Phoenix has always been there. Tulsa has been the #1. New Mexico coming back in. But again, the quality of which this league continues to add every single layer. The start of the first whistle, the players coming off the bench, the changes from the managers, all bets are off when it comes to postseason play.
November 22nd on CBS, the final. This changed everything. Double red cards, Hagart and Lopez. That's the end of Rodrigo Lopez's storied career and the beginning of something from Kadono no one could have seen coming. For Michelle Montaigne, Devin Kerr, our entire team in Sacramento and beyond, Mike Watts saying this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Orange County, the upset in Penns. Good night. Is Orange County's ticket to the conference semifinals. Orange County. It is Zuback against Vidiello in the save. Danny Vidiello off to a hot start.
This is why he is the best goalkeeper in the championship. Any moment, anytime, any place from